My favorite fishing season of the year by far is the fall. I look forward to it all year long. And every year at this time, I start looking for hints that summer is transitioning into fall, because some magical things start to happen in the marsh in regards to fishing. So I've set out today at one of my favorite marinas, Island Marina, right here on the shore of Lake Catherine, to go see what I can find and see if I can start deciphering some hints that we are in the transition from summer into fall. I know it's a little early. I jump the gun every year, but often I find things that give a taste of fall fishing at this time of year. So come along with me, let's see what we can do. All right, one of the many things I love about this area is all the deep water it has. You got all these passes going out into Lake Bourne, you've got the Wrigley's, and a lot of times those trout use those passes as highways to get inside this time of year, so you can catch them in that deep water. Man, I'm in an area right now where the tide is just absolutely ripping in. I actually thought the tide would be falling by now. I think it's gonna switch at some point. But I'm gonna try and see if we can catch some specks deep. Right now I'm set up in a 33-foot deep hole. As I mentioned, the tide's just rolling. I might need to go with some extra weight. I got a 3/8 ounce death grip. That may not be enough. May not be enough weight to get down. All right, I'm gonna have to get to where this current's a little more diffused, because man, it's just rolling. Big tidal range today. Flock of birds starting to work behind me. You can see this water boiling here. I love that situation. I'm seeing some shrimp pop. There are some birds here, but they, oh, bite already. Yep. Oh goodness. I'm getting hit every cast, so I think it's small trout. Yep, I think it's little bitty trout. I think this one's still hooked up, but... Oh, look at the shrimp. Look at the... Oh, goodness, no. Yeah, he's... Oh, it might be a ladyfish. That's what it is. Yep. Lots of shrimp popping in here. Goodness. But it could all be ladyfish. Yep. I think that's what it is. That's also a sign of late summer. They are busting some shrimp. Yep. Oh, goodness. Well, we can't waste time doing this. While we're here, we know all these shrimp are here. Let's check the bottom and see if there's any specks down there. Right here, it's 12 feet of water. Even with this swift current, we should be able to get down in 12 feet of water. Well, there we go. That didn't take long. What is that? It doesn't feel like a lady. No, it's a beautiful white trout. All right, we'll take it. All right, there we go. Good keeper whitey. I love white trout. I know a lot of people don't care for them, but I freaking love them. They taste so good. It's one of my favorite fish to eat. The reason some people don't like them is because they don't freeze well. The meat's really tender. It just kind of falls apart if you freeze it. But I don't freeze fish, so I don't care. Oh goodness, another hit. That didn't take long. Oh, I missed him. Oh, there he is. What is that? Another, oh, speck. Dude, look at this. That's not a keeper speck. Not even close. In Louisiana, these have to be 13 inches. White trout have no size minimum. I got like 5 hits on that cast. This tide is screaming out. I mean, I'm sorry. I know it's gonna turn, start falling pretty soon. And these fish will set up somewhere else when that happens. Oh, just vertical jigging next to the boat. Oh, look at that. Shrimp busted right behind the boat. Or something busted a shrimp. Probably a lady, but who knows? Wow. All right, let me try casting down current. Put my own tail on that one. Oh, can't get through the ladyfish. Oh, can't get through the ladyfish. Oh, goodness. All right, let me go back up current. No ladies up here. All right, what is that? That was a lady. Dadgummit. And another lady. Well, lots of action. If you get down to the bottom, seems like it's a speck or a white trout. Lots of hits, lots of misses. But if you get up off the bottom at all, oh, let's see what that one is. Get up off the bottom at all, it's a lady. This is not a lady. This I'm betting is a whitey. Oh, beautiful, beautiful. Oh, he went out. That was a good keeper trout. Dang it. That was a speckled trout. That's the sign I'm looking for. Multiple hits every cast. Oh, shit. I may have to go with a drop shot. These fish are just going bananas after they hit the bait. And with that big 3/8 ounce weight, they have an easy time throwing it. Let's see if we get him. Oh, no, didn't get him in the boat. Dang it. Look at that. Look at that. It's probably all ladies, though. The trout are on the bottom. Look at that right next to me. I just can't get a fish in the boat. They're just going nuts. Well, that's a lady. All right, let's see what he is. I'm betting whitey. It's not a lady, I know that. Yeah, beautiful whitey, good whitey. All right. Two beautiful fillets. What is that? Feels like it could be a lady. Yep, that'd be my bet. Oh, no, it's a foul hook speckled trout. I don't think he's legal though, unfortunately. Hooked him right in the belly. Hopefully it'll heal, because I don't think he's big enough. We're gonna check him. Man, he's bigger than I thought. He's like 12 7/8. Not big enough though. All right, what are you? Oh, dude, I'm losing some fish. Incredible. All right, that one's hooked up, at least for now. I think a whitey. It's definitely not a lady. Of course, it could be a speck. Here's a whitey. All right. This is a limbo slice matrix shad. As I mentioned, I got that on a 3/8 ounce death grip jig head. You don't need dead shrimp for this. I mean, believe me, if you drop dead shrimp down there right now, it's gonna get hit 100% of the time. Or live shrimp, of course. Got a lady. Dang it. The ladyfish are like piranha. If you fell over, they'd devour you. Fortunately, ladyfish are masters at throwing a hook. They're very, very good at it. Which is good, because you really don't want to land them. They make a mess in your boat. They have overactive colons, and they're slimy and scaly. Well, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. That must be a little red, or a foul hook trout, I guess. Or a cat. He's acting like a cat. Yep, he's acting like a cat, like a big one. Yep, that's what he is. Got to deal with these this time of year. Now, this type of cat is called a gaff top, if you're not from here. And they're not as bad as hardheads. They do slime up your line. It's kind of a pain in the butt. But they hang around with trout. Hardheads you catch absolutely everywhere, so it doesn't mean you're necessarily in a good spot. Doesn't always mean with gaff tops either, but they're more inclined to be in game fish type areas than hardheads. Water temp is 90 degrees in here, and that's why these fish are just acting so crazy once I hook them. All right, let's tie up a drop shot just for kicks and see if that makes a difference in our hookup ratio. All right, here's my drop shot. I got a 3/4 ounce egg sinker tied on the bottom, and I got a nose hooked limbo slice matrix shad 4/0 extra wide gap hook, because that's what I got. So let's see if that increases our hookup ratio. It should. Well, first cast, only one bite. That's a bad omen. Let's see if it's a fluke. Oh, that was a good hit. Well, yep, it's helping us successfully land the ladyfish. Now you can see what a nuisance these things are. Well, he's got such a mess of this line. Get on with your day, dude. I don't think you're gonna make it. But that does kind of show you the effectiveness of the drop shot. They definitely have much more difficulty throwing it. Still got to get a hook in them. All right, there we go. All right, that's a good speck. I think he's a keeper, but man, he's gonna get out the boat too, huh? I don't know. I think he's a little short now that I'm looking at him. Good inside, man, fat speckled trout. Yeah, he's 12.5. Goodness. I can't even imagine how many fish are down there. All right, see what he is. Another speck. What a throwback. They're definitely having a harder time throwing it. For sure. He's definitely not a keeper. Not even worth a measure. You know, I like to eat fish, so it's the only time you're kind of disappointed it's a speck compared to a white trout. And it's one of those throwbacks, because a white trout that size will go in the box. Be two tasty fillets. What are you? Come on, be a whitey or a keeper speck. Oh, oh, I don't even want to tell you what that was. I don't even want to tell you. That was a flounder. That's a lady. No, that's a speck of the day. Oh, goodness. All right, it's definitely a keeper speckled trout. That's such a sight for sore eyes. And he's got a sore eye. But it's so good to see these guys coming back inside for the fall. Yeah, he's 13.25. A monster. I mean, look, you don't expect to catch keeper speckled trout, you know, consistently in inside waters this time of year. You're gonna catch a lot of throwbacks, of course. Missed him. So when you catch a fish over 13 inches, you're always thrilled to catch it. You're not gonna catch 16 inches or anything like that. Another couple weeks you will. Oh, let's see what he is. Whitey? Yep, no, speckled trout. Yeah, by far, this drop shot's helping with our hookup ratio. Not necessarily our hookup ratio, but our landing ratio. Definitely getting far more of the fish that we hook into the boat. They're not as able to throw the hook. All right, you wanna know why those fish are in here? Look at this. Look at one of them just spit up. Not a very big shrimp, but that's why they're in here. White shrimp. Oh, what is that? Speckled trout. All these fish are gonna be keepers in a few weeks. Eating all these white shrimp. That's what they're feasting on right here in this pass. All right, what are you? Speckled trout, but I don't know, man. He's close. I think he might be a keeper, to be honest. Yeah, I think he's a keeper. You going crazy, dude. Ah, he's a hair short. Dang it. Oh, look at that, dolphins. Shoot. That's bad. Another speck. Dolphins very often chase off your fish. They're in here to eat those speckled trout and white trout and ladyfish. They can chase those off, I don't care. There we go. Oh, another speck. Like, oh, another speck. Where's all the whites? And by the way, those are dolphins. They're not porpoises. A lot of people call them porpoises. They're not. There are no porpoises in the Gulf of America. What are you? Another speck. There's a million speckled trout down there. Gonna be a great fall. Keep saying that. It's gonna be a great fall. There's another one. Oh, that's a good trout. All right, that's a keeper. There we go. Man, that's like a 13 and a half, 14 incher at least. He hacked up his belly, so good thing he is a keeper. Yeah, he's 14 inches. That's a really good fish. Cost us our bait, but we don't mind. All I'm doing is just vertical jigging next to the boat. I'm pitching it up a little bit with that current. Current's bringing right back to the boat, and they're just right under me. 12.9 feet of water. There's one. Ah. There's one. Another speck. Another throwback speck. Man, I'm telling you, it is silly. Silly. Like, as good as you could ever even possibly want. Now that we switched to the drop shot, it's a hookup pretty much every drop. Not a hookup every bite, for sure. But once you get them hooked, good chance you're gonna land it. Oh, goodness. All right, what is that? That feels pretty decent. Oh yeah, it's a keeper. That's a keeper trout. He threw my bait about 4 feet that way. All right, dude. Another keeper. All right, making a switch to lemonhead matrix shad. It's not gonna matter. You just need something to get their attention when they're in a frenzy like this. Limbo slice, I don't have many left. Yep, they're hitting this just as easily. Oh, what are you? Oh, good trout. Another keeper trout. All right. This is such a great sight to see. Fall is just right around the corner. I could not be more excited about it. So this is literally, well, it's my second stop, same area. I set up in that 33-foot deep hole. Couldn't really get to the bottom. The current's just too swift. So I backed up a little bit. And man, it's just full. This bottom is just carpeted. Carpeted, oh! Carpeted. Mostly with throwback speckled trout. There were a bunch of white trout initially, or at least some. I think the first couple of fish I caught were whites, but they have skedaddled. Maybe the little trout ate them all. It's blowing today. Current time is 3:44. Blowing out of the southeast. We've had a summer of west wind, just crazy west winds. And it just makes fishing tough. When you get these east winds, things improve dramatically. What else makes things improve dramatically is switching to a drop shot. Goodness. What a difference in hookup or landing ratio. Very impressive. So as you can tell, your bait slides up when you fish a drop shot. And you can put a little stopper on your hook that kind of prevents it from sliding up, but I don't have any. This pattern's only going to solidify as we move into fall. Every single day, every tide is going to pull shrimp out of the marsh. And you can come in these passes and catch speckled trout. Now the difference is, you know, all these undersized fish that we're catching, they'll be legal by then. Not to say you won't have some undersized fish in there, you certainly will. But you'll have a much higher percentage of keepers. Fall fishing's just as easy as it gets in South Louisiana's marshes. It does not get any easier. There we go. That's a good trout. All right, there we go. That's a good solid keeper. So awesome, so awesome. No chance you were getting off, dude. Oh yeah, he's almost 14 inches. Oh, keeper? Maybe. I think so. I think another keeper. So good to see. All right, he makes it. Oh, there we go. All right, there's another whitey. They showed back up. Not the biggest, but you know, you get a couple fillets off of that. I'll take him. Oh, what are you? Oh, keeper speckled trout. All right. Look at that, look at that. Shrimp busting all around me. All right. Oh, beautiful trout, beautiful trout. All right. You know, when you're catching small fish, when you catch one that's over 13, he just looks big. I caught that one on a mangled piece of matrix. I bit the tip off. It doesn't matter. They're in an absolute frenzy. Look at the frenzy. Look at the frenzy. Look at that. That's got to all be ladies. Just going crazy. Wow. The life in this area right now is just incredible. Oh, he smoked it. Oh, good trout. Yes, there we go. All right. That dude wanted that bait. Goodness. I felt that hit down in my plums. He smoked that matrix shad. He wanted it. And it hooked very, very well. All right, another keeper trout. Oh, good hit. Oh yeah, another keeper. All right. Oh goodness, that's a good one. Oh yeah, that's a good trout. All right. What are you? All right, another beautiful speckled trout. Man, I tell you what, they're getting bigger. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh goodness, that's a good one. Oh yeah. Oh yeah, real good trout. All right. Yeah, it's kind of crazy. They're getting bigger, for sure. Noticeably. More keepers and throwbacks now. All right. I think another keeper. I'm going to measure him though. If he measures, that's my last keeper of the day. No, I think he's a little. I think he's a little short. I think I get to keep fishing. Yep, he's 12 1/4. The bad news is he's too small. The good news is I get to keep fishing. Of course, I could keep fishing anyway, but can't keep anymore after my next keeper. That'll be it. Oh! Oh goodness, that's a good keeper. All right, there we go, that's it. That's it, that's the limit. Wow, what a freaking day. What a freaking trip. Time for Todd's Tackle Talk. All right, if you've been watching my channel for more than like 5 minutes, you know what a fan I am of the death grip jig heads. I mean, these things are far and away the best jig heads on the market. And without question, I've caught more fish on this, generally teamed with a matrix shad, than I have on any other setup that even exists. The two things I love about death grips, number one, are these ridges on the hook shank. They prevent baits from sliding down. I mean, if you catch like 75 speckled trout or so, the bait will start tearing up and then it'll eventually start sliding down. But literally, you gotta catch that many fish before that happens. Secondarily, what I also love about the death grip is the sharpness of the hook. Super, super sharp hooks. You don't ever have to worry about missing fish because of a dull hook. But you know, not every tool is right for every situation. Like a screwdriver is great if you gotta drive a screw, but it's not so good if you got a hammer and a nail. I mean, you can use it, but a hammer would be better. And on this trip, I was throwing this heavy 3/8 ounce death grip, and because of how frenetic those fish were acting, you know, it was 90-degree water, summertime, the fish were just in a frenzy. They were hitting the bait and they were going bananas after I got a hook in them. And you figure with this heavy of a jig head, which I absolutely needed to get down in all that current, the fish has a ton of leverage. Speckled trout, you know, they go nuts with their heads after they get hooked. And so this jig head is going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And they're just masters at throwing those hooks. They're not as good as those ladyfish, but they are very, very good at throwing hooks, particularly when there's a big bowling ball attached to it on this side. So what I did on this trip, of course, I switched to a drop shot rig. And I'm gonna show you how I tie my drop shots. Okay, I got my Matrix Mono. This is a 17-pound test. I'm gonna pull about arm's length, cut that. Onto one side, I'm gonna tie my hook. This is a 4/0 extra wide gap hook. That's what I was using. Got a lot of these in my tackle box. Attach that with a Palomar knot. Then on the very other side of that line, I'm gonna tie this 3/4 ounce egg sinker. You got a bank sinker or something like that, that's even better, but this is what I have in my tackle box. Tie an improved clinch knot for that. Okay, so then I've got my weight on one side, my hook on the other. What you do is go about 1/3 of the way down so that your hook hangs about halfway from the top to the weight. And then I'm gonna tie just an overhand knot that leaves a loop, just like that. So that leaves a loop. I'm gonna tie my main line to this. You'd see I got my hook here, and then below that, got that egg sinker. And as you saw in the video, all I'm doing is nose hooking that matrix. That's it. Right like that. And the advantage to that, those fish hit it, they get hooked, and they have absolutely no leverage at all. And a lot of times that bait will slide up the hook and up the line, as you saw in the video. And so literally all the fish has is that hook. That's it. Not a whole lot of leverage when it's shaking its head to get rid of that hook. My landing ratio went sky high after I switched to the drop shot, and they were definitely hitting it just as well. Shout out to my good buddy who you've seen in plenty of other videos, Captain Justin Bowles. He is a hardcore drop shot fisherman. Now he ties his a completely different way than I do, but he uses them to great effect in our marshes in this area. So put the drop shot to use. In a situation like we fished, you will not regret it. All right, well, hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Also subscribe to the Marshman Masson channel on YouTube. And until next time, if we don't see you in the marsh, we'll see you right here on Marshman Masson.